Hi guys, welcome to Irish Footy Vlogs. Myself and Cian Menton here as usual. We're doing the weekend previews this week once more from the League of Ireland. Cian, we're going to go back slightly and look at the games on Monday and Tuesday. First off, we'll start off with Dundalk winning 2-1 in Derry. Three early goals in this game actually. What do you make of this one? For a start, Derry, are they gone for Europe basically at this stage now?
I think Derry need to be careful now because, I think Europe's out of the equation for them, and I think they need to be wary. I think they still need to pick up another win out of the next couple of games just to be sure, because they could easily find themselves falling down the back door at the minute, the way it is. Like, you're looking, like, at the minute, I'm looking at on paper, not on paper, on form and on team itself. I'm thinking if Derry came up against Finn Harps, and Finn Harps are down there, if Finn Harps got 3 points, let's say, for example, I think Derry are in a little bit of bother unless they get 3 points. I think they need 3 points, and that'll do them.
Funny you mention because they played Finn Harps twice this season. They drew twice. They were kind of lucky in both games to get draws as well. Did you imagine them?
Yeah, I think I do. I feared. I was looking at Derry now, and I've been looking at them for a couple of weeks, and they haven't been great. They've been no team has really been great. To be honest with you, I think they're just as bad as the Shelbourne. They're just as bad as maybe Pats. They're
eking out the results as well as those teams.
That's it. Yeah, I think they're just as bad as anyone, and that's not putting anyone down. Do you know what I'm saying? I honestly don't think they're great, but the teams around them that are higher than them, I still think they're on par with them. But the other teams, like the likes of Pats lately, even though we haven't played in so long, when they did play, they ground out the results. They've got big wins when they need them. I just think Derry need one more just to be sure.
Why do you think it's been so poor for Derry? Do you think just the kind of short season hasn't helped them out, or?
No, well, I don't think the short season has helped anyone really. But look, everyone's in the same boat, so Derry can't be the only ones complaining about that. Look, it's been the same for a number of years now at the Brandywell. There's been a lot of, look at the turnover in players, for example. It's a bit of a mess at the minute. I think Declan is the man to tidy it up. He's only in the job really, and we'll be looking for him now next year to consolidate top half finish, which probably would have been the aim this year, top half finish. So it's disappointing. Like, they were on par with, let's say, Pats at the start of the season for Europe if you're looking at the two teams. So I think a top half finish is the minimum from Derry, and next year they have to be getting into Europe. They have to be closing the gap because, at the minute, it's not being good enough from Derry. They're a big city. They're a big club they're a one club in the one city. So, we know how powerful the club is when it's on top. We've seen it for many years, and obviously we've seen the downfall of that. But they're starting to, I would say, get a basis for next year. At the minute, I think that's what they're using the last couple of games for. But they just have to be careful because, look, they could easily fall down into that relegation playoff, and then all of a sudden it's a 50-50 game. Who knows what's going to happen?
Declan Devine came in last year, and he did steady the ship last year. They got 15 more points than they did the previous season. He brought in a lot of new players this season. Just thinking now, it's not wise though, because some of them are very good though. Figure is very good. Hammond looks good to me, and Mallon is good. But I don't think he's found the right fit for those type of players. It just hasn't flowed for them in the way it should.
I think Conor McCormick is your man in the middle. I personally don't think Conor McCormick should play with Conor Clifford. I think they're both the exact same players, and I think it's a waste of time having the two of them there, because two of them are doing the same job, and there's no creativity there. And then you're looking at the likes of Figure and Mallon to get on the ball and create it, but there's nobody supporting because you have two holding midfielders. So I think that's kind of their downfall at the minute. On paper, they have a very good side. I think Towell is probably the best young centre half in the league. I think he's really good, but he's no protection around him. I don't rate Kieran Call a lot now. I don't. I think he's poor, to be honest with you. I think Cherry is past his sell-by date. I think he's. I think they need to get a decent keeper in there. Cherry has been a fantastic keeper in this league for so many years. He's played at the top. He's played at the bottom. He's done it all in this league. I remember seeing him play for Dundalk. And it's fantastic. Went to Bray. You know, he kind of reminds me of a Barry Ryan type of keeper. When you played against him when he was in his prime, you didn't think you were going to score. You never thought you were going to score. Like I remember Barry Ryan playing for Limerick at the end of his career, and my God, the saves he used to pull off. He was about 40. He was fantastic. But I just think Cherry, similar to the McNulty situation at Cork, I think the keepers are getting on a little bit, and maybe they should take a step back and even become a goalie coach, or something. They need to. I think they can't be starting every week, so I think that's another issue for Derry. And obviously, look, every team's the same boat. They need a goal scorer, no question about it. We seen it the other night. Look, I know there were 3 early goals, but the minute Dundalk went ahead, it was I thought it was simple. There was no Derry were never going to win the game. They were never going to even draw the game, in my opinion. So I think they need a goal scorer. I think they need to sort out the midfield with the two holding. I don't like it. When you say that, Connor is kind of breaking everything up. Sorry, the two of them are Connor. McCormick is kind of breaking everything up, and Clifford. Sorry, the other way around. Connor Clifford is usually the break-up man in there, and McCormick gets the ball and plays through the lines, plays from deep, and gets them going. But like Conor McCormick has done that job on his own for so many years. He doesn't need. He's like a typical Greg Bulger type player. Gets a short start to be can ping a pass 50 yards, no problem to him. And I think that's what Derry need. Connor's fantastic for that. But I just think Clifford should be benched for McCormick. I don't think the two of them play together. It doesn't work. Like we've seen it with Pats, with Jamie Lennon and Connor Clifford playing the same team. And it doesn't make for a great watch now, but it's, at the time that's probably Pat's best midfield, which is worrying. But same with Derry, it's probably Derry's best midfield at the minute. So I just think they need to tidy a few things up. I think Declan will put his hand up, be the first to put his hand up and say, look, I've got a couple of signings wrong. If you're bringing in 15 signings, 16 signings, you're bound to get a couple wrong. There's no question about it. And I think he has. So I think now he's after having this little season. He's after using after the break to consolidate themselves but they fell off too much for my liking. I would have thought they'd be pushing Waterford at the minute. I would have been thought they'd be way ahead of Sligo. And certainly they should be way ahead of Pats as well. So I just think that's all they need. If they get them sorted, I think they'd be a good force, but they're miles off competing for the title. Miles off it.
Do you think Dundalk have third sewn up basically now?
I think third is sorted. I think I was surprised with the side he put out. He put out a really strong side considering tomorrow night's game. I was looking at the players he put out. I was shocked.
It's a case of no real travel, but as you say, an injury or two could happen. But then again, you can't think of that. I don't think.
Yeah, but you look. I don't care what anyone says. When you're playing Europe, it's a step ahead of everything. It's a second faster. Everything is a second or two faster. It's so quick. The ball is just zipping around. Teams are passing the ball around you. You're doing a lot of defending. It's a lot of mentality when you're playing in Europe. But I think Dundalk, Rovers, I know they got to Europe first. But I think that obviously they got to Europe in 2011. But I think they played like a typical Irish team.
At the time they did, yeah.
At the typical Irish team, sit in, sit deep, try and catch them on the counter. You might get one shot and you win a 1-0. That's what Rovers done. And look, it worked well. They got into the group stages. Nobody's going to begrudge them that. But I think Dundalk changed the way Irish football is played in Europe. And I think that's something that they can look at. They have the players. Look, this team doesn't get enough credit. It really doesn't. They've got to the Europa League group stages. And in the back,
it is. I think you're right. They're doing so well for so long that people almost forget what they've achieved, if you like, or how good they are.
It shows you the mentality of Irish football. In the back of the pages, of the paper, it's all about your man Van Dijk's injury. Dundalk have just done something amazing here and got into Europa League group stages. Like this, if someone turned around to you 15 years ago, and says that this would be the third time an Irish team is playing the group stages, you
in
think,
space of a decade, you know?
yeah, you think it's madness if someone turned around to you in 15 years and said that. But what is being done, they're not getting enough credit. I don't think Filippo's getting enough credit. People still think he's a bit of a chancer. Now, look, I don't know. He probably is. I don't know. But
I done a quick preview actually in Dundalk and Molde, and I talked about how Dundalk were in disarray under Vinnie Perth, you know. And in fairness to Filippo, like, he's clearly done a good job since he's come in. I mean, look where they are now, like, and results in the league generally have picked up as well, by the way.
Yeah, like a win the Brandywell, no matter how good or bad this steady side is fantastic.
3 months ago, probably.
Yeah, and look, I think this side hasn't got enough credit they deserve. I think people like I remember now. I know the game was called off. Pats were playing Dundalk 2 weeks ago, and people are saying, "Grant, we'll beat Dundalk. We'll go for it. We'll beat them." This team is not getting the credit they deserve. This side has been the top of the Irish game for seven years. You know, they just lost out the Pats for the league in the last couple of games, and then they went on and just rampaged apart from the off season in 2018, was it 2017?
2017, yeah, Cork.
Yeah, Pats nearly got relegated. I remember that, but it was 2017. That's the only way I remember it, because Cork were champions. We beat them because we were pissed. Honestly, I thought. I do. I think Dundalk still, people need to realise, and people need to tip their hat to them. What they've done is something amazing, and it's like with that Dundalk side, it's not the greatest Dundalk side. So, like, they've gone away. Though obviously the one legs have helped, but they still had to go away and they still had to win. They had to come from behind. They still had to win on penalties. You know, there was a lot to do, and they've done it.
No, fair play to them, honestly. Like, onto the first division, Galway were beaten 3-1 at home to Drogheda on Tuesday. And we kind of called this, didn't we? That Drogheda, after losing that low, probably go to Galway and win. It's a typical Drogheda win, but in fairness, it's a vital Drogheda win. They needed this. This was game over if they didn't win this game. They're now 2 points behind Bray. You never know.
Like, I don't know. I just have no words. I seen the game, and Drogheda were amazing. I watched the game. I got a clip of the game, full game.
Did you see the red card? Because I know John Caulfield was complaining about the red card.
It was soft.
Really,
yeah. It was soft now, but I don't think Galway can have any complaints. I know they were down to 10 men, but it was easy for Drogheda, and it's annoying. It's frustrating me. I was sitting there going mad. Like, I really was, because they can put in a performance like that against a banging form side, the informed side in the country probably, and they're going and they're playing like that, and then all of a sudden Athlone comes to town, they get beaten. Cove come to town, they get beaten. It's very annoying and very frustrating for supporters.
If they miss out on top spot, as I said before, they will kick themselves badly for those type of results.
Not only that, like, if they don't come up through the playoffs, they'd be looking at themselves. They'd be like, look, how did we lose this league? Because they are on paper the best side. I think, look, without being disrespectful to Bray, I don't think Bray expected to be top of the table. Obviously, that's their aim at the start of the season, but I think Bray would have bit your hand out or third or fourth spot, and I really would. But look, they're top of the table. They deserve to win it at the minute, and hopefully they go on and do it now because they're in the position to do it. But I just think Drogheda and Longford have just really, the two of them teams be kicking themselves the way they are. But Galway were poor. Like I said, it's down to 10 men. They just never got going. It was one of them frustrating evenings. Like, I swear to God, I remember one of the balls passed and it hit a bobble and the pitch just bounced up over it. It just bounced up over the midfielder, and I think from that minute I knew, look, this is going to be one of them nights for Galway, and Caulfield's getting frustrated. And look, we always, in fairness, we always used to enjoy him ranting or raving, didn't we, on the sideline? But I just think he's very frustrated because that was an opportunity missed there.
100%. We'll get on to them later on again, Keane. Derry City and Shelbourne on Friday play in the Premier Division. Now, we've just spoken about Derry. Is this the game they can win, pick out, get the 3 points? You say Shelbourne won their last 2 games. Might be a little comfortable coming into this. This is a typical, the way the league's gone and that. You can really typically see Derry win this.
Yeah, you can see Derry winning. Look, they've decided to win it. I think on paper they have the better players, and like I says, I don't like. I don't mind sometimes. Probably if you're playing against Rovers or Dundalk or Bows, maybe you sit the two holding midfielders. But
Absolutely.
I like that'd be away from home. But they're playing at home to Bladen Sligo. They're playing at home to a Cork City, and they have two holding midfielders. It just defeats the whole purpose. So it's frustrating because I know they can play, and I like seeing Derry play. I like the way Declan Devine plays. He's playing. He doesn't have the players he had when he was there when they won the cup and stuff like that. But at the same time, he still has a bit of quality. I wouldn't say look. Probably in the last 10 years, this is probably the worst or second worst Derry side in terms of team wise and caliber of player that they have. I don't think it's look. I don't obviously Derry being from up Derry, and it's very hard for people to travel to it and stuff like that. That's obviously a big issue. We've seen that. Look, I think Cork is a little bit easier because it's more of a city, if you know what I'm saying. I know Derry is a big city, but I think Cork is a bit more appealing for players wanting to get down to.
Seems to be, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you look at Sligo, it's very hard to get players. So I really do. I admire the work like Liam Buckley, Declan Devine, and Neil Fenn when he was there. I admire the work they do to get the players to come down from, let's say, Dublin or from abroad to play for the teams around the country because it takes an awful lot of asking and persistence to get them players. But I think Declan, like I says, he got it wrong. So he got it wrong with a couple of players this year. I think a couple of like Nielsen and all this. He wouldn't have come cheap. And even I would even say a man Akintunde and all that. They haven't come cheap either.
Mete, another one.
Yeah, like they wouldn't have come cheap. So I think he'd be disappointed.
Yeah, these are strikers that have all disappointed, haven't they?
Yeah.
All of them have disappointed. Akintunde's got a couple of goals, but it's the best they've had. Nielsen was disappointing. I think Mete, a lot of Derry fans were raving about him at the beginning, but I couldn't see it, to be honest. And I don't know, I think I've been proven a little right since. I don't think he offers much at all.
No, look, he's better than what they have. He's better. He's better than like he's the best. He's the best they have, so he needs to play. I think on Friday. I'm looking forward to the game. I like Shelbourne. Like I said, I like the way they play. Look, I hate Shelbourne. Sorry, I just want to get that out there. I get that out there. I like the way they play, and I like the way Ian Morris has them set up because they set up with their strengths. So I'm looking forward to the game. I don't think Derry are going to win. I think Shells are going to win this 2-0.
Are you? It's interesting because the Shells win this, suddenly Europe is on the cards. There is an opportunity.
Don't be talking about Shelbourne in Europe, please. Not yet.
Look, I'm going to make you feel happier because I think Derry are going to win this 2-1.
So I'll take that. No, we can't have Shelbourne in Europe. I'm sorry. I love Ian Morris and I love the way they play. We can't have Shelbourne in Europe.
Too far. Sligo Rovers and Cork City. Now, I actually think this is a massive game, Keane, because Sligo have to win this. If they don't win, if they can't beat Cork at home, their season's going to peter out big time. And Cork, it really is their last chance to get anything here, isn't it?
Look, I said last week that it was a must-win for Cork. I think out of the games they had played, I thought Waterford was their best chance of getting 3 points. Considering the form that Sligo were in at the minute, look, I think Cork. I don't know what's going on. Colin Healy and all, they were kind of happy with the performance the other day. And look, this isn't a time. I get their clutching at straws. I get their confidence is on the floor. But at the same time, this isn't a time to be happy with performances. This is a time where you need to get results. There's a couple of games left here. Cork are right down there, and I don't know. I'm baffled by it. Like, I really am.
A couple of weeks ago, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, there's a couple of good performances, Keane, and they only got a point out of 2 games. And I thought to myself, that's when I thought it was looking dodgy for them, because I said now they're actually playing quite well in those couple of games, and they're not getting the results. So let's be honest, like, if you're not, you need to be picking up results when you're playing well at the bottom of the league. That didn't last very long. The Sligo game's a weird one, I think, because I don't know, Sligo, like, it's a very difficult game. It's very hard to see Cork win. Sligo play poorly. Cork might get a point, and even a point, I don't think is really enough, probably. It's a difficult one. Sligo need to get back to scoring goals. They haven't been scoring goals. I tell you what, though, I think Junior has actually been a disappointment for them overall since he joined the club. I don't think he's really performed the way they expected him to perform.
I think it's hard for him as well.
It is. He's on decent money as well, isn't he, Doug?
Yeah, but not only that now, I just think it's hard for him. Like, he's come in, it always takes, I know people are saying now they know the league and stuff like that, but you sign a player in the window, in the middle of this transfer window, they never really fit in seamlessly. They never, it never clicks straight away. Junior's gone away. He hasn't played a lot of football since he left Derry City. That would have been last October. I think people need to realise that, yeah, he's done well for Derry. He's come in now with Sligo. Look at the situation. Look at the mess everybody's in. This fella is coming out to play for Sligo. I do think he will come good for Sligo. We'll see his form. We'll see him back to his best. Look, I thought I really watched him when he played against Pats, and I think a lot of clubs are doing the homework on him as well. And I think Pat's dealt with him perfectly, to be honest.
I'll say one other thing as well. I actually think that right back in the league, there's a lot of quality players, funnily enough, at right back, and Junior tends to play left back, or left midfield, left wing. Yeah. Maybe that's the point as well. Like
look, I think he kind of played in a 10 most of the time as Sligo had the ball against Pats. In Richmond. He kind of played in a 10, but like literally we marshalled him really well. But I just think a lot of clubs now are realising his quality, and now he's actually getting the credit he deserves. Because I don't think a lot of clubs. He scored a lot of goals for Derry City. He played very well, but at the same time, like he still wasn't being talked about. And it's only since he's gone. Like, look, people always say you remember what you lost when it's gone. And look, I think Pat's would be the same. Look, the amount of years people were giving out about, let's say, Colin and Bourne the last couple of years, and they were giving out about, let's say, Fagan, the way he was performing. And when they're gone, then you realise, geez, you miss Conan down the right, you miss Fagan up front, you know. But I think that's the way it was at Derry. I don't think Junior got the credit he deserved. He was outside of Derry, sorry. Like, I think Derry City fans were raving about him. And I'm saying, how's this guy like? But he hasn't lit up the rest of the league last year. But I think this year now he's come with a reputation. That comes with a lot of pressure. He's playing with Sligo, who are in the shits when he signed. They're okay now. And look, I think he'd come good, but it just takes a bit of work because he hasn't played since last October, really.
How do you see it?
Sligo 2-0.
Yeah, I think we'll see another good performance in Cork, but I don't think it'll be enough. It's going to beat 1-0, Keane, and that'll end it, to be honest with you. Bohemians of Finn Harps. Now, it's a massive game for Finn Harps. Bowls more or less have second zone up, but as we said before, Bowls don't really relax, do they, in games? Harps haven't played for 3 weeks, but it's an important game for Finn Harps, isn't it? Can they get something out of this one?
If Harps pick anything up out of this, it's a bonus. Look, I don't know. Is the Cork game before Harps, yeah?
It is indeed. It is. So
I think it's...
So if Cork lose, do you think Harps will do a park the bus job and hope to get
No. I think Harps will be going to win the game no matter what. I think if Harps win the game, if Harps get 4 points out of the next couple of games, I would say Harps are solid, and I think Cork are gone.
Cork having a hope of catching that.
But in saying that, if Cork end up winning this game and then draw again, that's the 4 points back. So it's strange. It's hard to say, but I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think it'll be as open. I think if Harps come out with a point, they'll be delighted. Look, I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw here. And the reason I'm going for a draw is I think Harps might come out of the blocks nice and early. Or I think it'll finish a draw.
I think Harps will give them a good game. I think eventually Bowls will overrun them. I think maybe 2-1 Bowls. Harps haven't got a lot of creativity in their team. Like, people talk about goal scorers, and I know there's a dearth of goal scorers in the league, but there's not an awful lot of actual creative players in the Harps team. Barry McNamee, on his day, is creative, of course. But if the likes of Mark Russell, they're good players. Like
Dave Webster. Dave Webster.
He's probably as creative as any of them. No, but actually, Webster and Siddiqui have a decent partnership in the back for Harps. They defend deep. They do defend deep. It makes it a little easier on the back line.
Lenny as well plays very well in there, and we've seen him play centre half. We've seen him play in front of the back four. Really good player. Like they have good players. If you go through that side, like I know he hasn't been scored in the last week. I mean, Cogler's not bad. He seems to be putting his head in a few balls. He seems to be getting the ball in the net, which is very hard to do as a Finn Harps striker. No disrespect to anyone that has played for Finn Harps.
They don't really have creativity. Their best avenue I've noticed for Finn Harps is out wide. Maybe the likes of Carlos Sullivan getting across the box as such into Cogler, but they don't really have much through the middle. But then again, in general, they don't give away an awful lot either. To be fair to them, do they?
No, they don't give away anything. You have to work for everything you get against Finn Harps. I don't think they gift you anything. I think. Look, I don't keep talking about Pats, but I was looking. The last time they actually really gifted someone a goal was Pats against Georgie Kelly when Pats beat them. I think I do. I hate talking about Pats all the time. I don't want to bring them up all the time, but in my head, honestly, that's the only time I can remember watching Finn Harps play that they actually gave a goal away so cheaply.
Yeah, no, it was. No, you're right. Actually, if I recall, I think the 2 goals in the game were a bit...
Oh, they were horrible.
Very unusual for Harps, actually, because they don't give away goals like that. And they can't afford to do that against Bohemians, let's be honest, with Danny Grant.
Well, I don't think they will. I think Harps know the situation. I think that's their advantage on Cork at the minute. They've been there, done that. A lot of that team has gotten relegated. A lot of that team has stayed up via the playoffs. So it's it's a very experienced Harps side, and I don't know. I'm going to go for a draw, Lucas says. I just think they might do it.
I wouldn't be shocked because nothing shocks me if Finn Harps. They're kind of like Waterford and Dundalk on the Sunday. Now this is going to be interesting because obviously Dundalk 3 games in a week. There's a good chance they're going to have a bit of a European hangover. Waterford really need something because I know they're 4th, but they're teetering on the brink of dropping out, aren't they? Is this a good opportunity for Waterford to be actually playing Dundalk though?
100%. I think it's an opportunity to play Dundalk now. If you're playing Dundalk from now to the end of the year, it's a big opportunity.
Yeah, with all the European mixers, of
course. And I think, look, this Dundalk, like I says, people need to give them credit. Like, whoever's going to be playing for Dundalk on Sunday, it'll probably start for every other team in the league. So people need to realise that. For example, if Dan O'Kelly plays on the right, John Mountney, on his day, one of the best players will probably play on Sunday or vice versa. So you don't know what team they're going to put out. You'll have an idea tomorrow when they play. You'll have an idea who's playing on Sunday then, I think. But, you look at that back 4 alone. Dummigan is fitting in there perfectly for Gannon. You have Massey. I know Massey's out injured at the minute. But you have Darrell Leahy, Massey. Then you have Andy Boyle, Dan O'Cleary. You've probably heard about Dan O'Cleary and that played in the Liverpool player. Did you hear about that? Speaking on that.
That was
I don't know.
It surprised me in a weird way. Because, believe it or not, because I don't know, some weird stuff happens in underage football at that level. Yeah. But come out and admit it. Obviously, he's looking for attention and he got it though.
Yeah. But, honestly, John Sheridan should sign him up. No, I think, I didn't hear that.
Before we finish on that point, Keane, it's fair to say that Dan Cleary got the last laugh, though.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I was talking about the back 4. Look, you're looking at Dan Cleary, Andy Boyle, Sean Hoare, Brian Gartland. You know what I mean? So people realise if Gartland and Boyle play tomorrow, Cleary and Hoare are playing on Sunday. So, honestly, people need to realise, I don't know whether it's good in a way that they have so many games that other teams might see that as an advantage. But I think Dundalk are still fitter than everyone else. I still think they're a level ahead on strength and conditioning. I think they've set the bar so high. So I'm not expecting an easy win for Waterford by any stretch. I do think Dundalk are going to win this one now.
I don't think Waterford are going to get a win, but I think they might nick a point. Have to get something for me. to be honest with you.
I hope you don't.
I hope they don't. I'm going to go for 1-1 because Dundalk, as you say, you know, they're hard to beat regardless of what players they put on the pitch. We're talking about the players there. It could be Flores or Sloggett who plays as well. Field, for God's sake. You know, Dan Kelly in the wing, Dave McMillan up front. I mean, come on, like 1-1 for me though there. We'll move on to the first division, Keane, and you know, we'll start with Bray and Galway. I don't think this is an easy one for Bray. I have a weird feeling Bray, Keith Ryan won't like this. I have a weird feeling there's going to be another twist in this Division 1 saga, and I have a very strange feeling Galway are going to go to the Carlisle and get something. What do you think?
Well, I'm not getting involved in this one. We got hammered every week. No, well, yeah, it's going to be a good game. It's one I'm looking forward to. Like, I think in both divisions, I think this is the standout fixture in the league. I think, like, if there was a game I want to watch the weekend, it's this game. I don't know what it just is for the importance of it, and I think Galway. Look, I know they had a bit of a bashing there the other day, but I think Galway and Bray are probably two of the most informed sides in the country. They're coming together to play in the Carlisle. Bray are going for the league, Galway are going for the playoffs. What a game! Like, there's no better time for these two teams to meet each other. I don't know. I think I've written off Bray every week and every game this season. But I genuinely think they have the character now. I didn't think they had it. I really didn't. I'll be the first to admit that. I think everyone knows that. I didn't tip them to win a game after lockdown, and here they are. So I honestly, I think they have the character. So I'm gonna go for a Bray 1-0.
I think that would win it for them. It could even win it on the day.
Because the reason I'm going for a Bray 1-0, they bottled it against Rothley, and I think they learned that.
In their defence, Keane, I think that was their only blight in 6 or 7 matches.
That's it, yeah, but I think they learned from that.
They hit back, didn't they?
Yeah.
From that.
That's what I'm saying. I think they learned from that. It's like the big occasion. I don't know whether it got to them. I don't know, but I think they've learned from that. I think they'll win this 1-0.
Yeah, the reason why I think Galway might get a point is because Caulfield will demand a reaction, and he was up, wasn't he, the last time? Fired up, whistle, fired up in every way. Galway are 3 points behind the playoff positions. This is a game where they can't go and say, we might get a draw and make a point. They have to try and win this game. So it makes it a very intriguing game overall, regardless of what happens. This is going to be a game.
What time is this game at?
It's at 3 o'clock, so it is on the Saturday. Saturday, yeah. 3 o'clock Saturday.
Hopefully that's going to be on the Oaken anyway, so we'll watch that. That'll be on.
But don't Bray usually do a?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it'll be on the Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'll watch that now. I'm looking forward to it. But you know, it's better than watching that English Premier League. I'm telling you now.
You get sick of VAR, etc. So yeah, I would watch Bray and Galway. There's no doubt about that because I'm intrigued as well. Galway are 7th, Keane, but they don't feel like they're a team of 7th quality.
No.
That kind of way. They have to get something here to try and get in. Bray will feel like they have to win as well. And meanwhile, we'll move on to this. Meanwhile, Drogheda will be playing Wexford at the same time on Saturday. Now, this is a game where you would say to yourself, quality Drogheda should be winning this all day, but we know Drogheda by now. There's points in these type of games all season. Regardless of what happens at Bray-Galway match, Drogheda just need to do their job, don't they?
I'm going a little bit off topic, but it just popped into my head as you were talking there. It's a shame considering the amount of games that are off in the Premier Division that a couple of days aren't on the watch yellow white. You know, like considering like Pats aren't playing, considering Rovers aren't playing, you know, like there's an opportunity there for 2 games to be put on.
As well, for a few weeks, Keane, we've had weeks there where there's only been 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, so
none of these games get called off as well because
what I'm saying is I'm looking at it. It's disappointing because this is, like I said before, this is the most exciting first division we've had in years, and considering the Premier Division games aren't on, it's a shame that they're not showing at least Brian Drogheda, at least one game, the top game of the week. Like I think, like I said, Brian Galway. I think Brian Galway this is the game of the week. It really is. This is the Premier Division, First Division, the lot. This is the game in the world the weekend. What?
Be watching. I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was the Premier Division on at that time, but I'll probably watch that at a different time if there is. I'll be watching Bray and Galway on the Facebook, maybe on my phone, and I'll have Drogheda and Waterford on YouTube, or Waterford, Wexford on YouTube. So it'll be a bit of a first division afternoon for me. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be watching them all now. Lovely. I have a couple of devices. I'll watch every game, no matter what. I'll tell you.
Wires.
I'll be like soccer Saturday in my room. What? I'll tell you. No, honestly, I'm looking forward to it. But it's something that excites me. This first division, this game, Bray alone. Like I said, considering Wexford
this weekend, that one is Premier Division or otherwise. The Bray Galway game is the one that I really am excited to see.
It's gonna finish 0-0 now because we're at the pumping up so high.
But it could be a good 0-0.
There's never a good 0-0 in Bray. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But look, big win again. A big win needed from Bray. Big win needed from Drogheda as well. Who are?
Do you think Drogheda will win though?
No. No, I swear to God, I genuinely don't. I genuinely don't. I think when teams sit in against Drogheda, they find it very hard to break them down.
They can do, yeah.
When teams go and play against Drogheda have the quality to then catch them on the counter. I just think Drogheda are a counter-attacking team. You get the ball, you come to me, we'll get the ball and we'll score down the other end. That's Drogheda. Look, I'm a football coach myself. I'm not saying that's what Tim Clancy's saying to the dressing room.
But they're very strong. They're very strong down the flanks. If you think of the fullbacks, Kane and James Brown, very good attacking fullbacks off the wing back. Then you've got the likes of Mark Doyle, usually wide, or Brandon Birmingham could be wide. Sometimes Meany drifts wide, whatever. They've interchangeable players.
I think they're a better team without the ball. When teams come to sit in, like we've seen with Athlone, look, we've seen with Cole Ramblers, look, probably what we're going to see with Wexford, we don't know. But when teams come and sit in deep, I just find it very hard to break down. I think there's a lot of lacking in the creativity. So I think what Drogheda try and do, and they do it very, very well, they invite them on. They know, look, they've big Huey Douglas, they've Conor Kane, they've Browner. They've top players at the back that are confident enough to say, okay, you have the ball, you come to us. And then they win it, and then they play. I think that's Drogheda's strength. Look, they do it really well.
Picked up a point there as well. Like, I've seen him play quite a bit, obviously, there as well. And their midfield, I have to say, is their weakest position, the central midfield. They don't really have a proper creative player in the midfield. Like, if they did, I think they'd definitely be winning this league. That's what they lack. So they do look for wide an awful lot. Even for kickouts, they usually try and hit it along to Brandon Birminham's head, as an example, like, because he's a big guy, Mark Doyle as well. But I'm feeling they will win, Keane, but I think they're going to get the monkey off their back a little bit, but I think it's going to be a nervy one. I think they're going to nick this one 1-0, and I think Galway are going to draw, which would leave, if that was to happen, that would leave them level going into the last game.
I'm gonna go for a 1-0 Wexford here. I just think it's made for it. I think it's made for Wexford to go there and get the upset. I'm looking forward to this Saturday. I really am.
No, it's going to be interesting. I think from Wexford's point of view, we'll touch on them a little bit as well. They're capable of going and getting results anywhere as well. They've shown it. I mean, 5-1 against Cabinteely, or was it 6? I can't remember. It's irrespective. 5-6-1 doesn't matter, does it? They've done it like before. They've got results, against decent enough size and that kind of thing. They could well go and upset the party. There's no doubt about it. They're capable of doing so, aren't they?
They will. I do. I just genuinely think they do. I don't think Drogheda have the knack of mastering these small games.
Well, they haven't so far. That's a fact.
That's it. So I do.
Ask a different question. They have to find an answer to this question. Otherwise, irrespective of what Bray do, I think that's nearly it. Then, if Drogheda were to lose at home to Wexford.
Yeah, look, I don't know. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to. Saturday is going to be a good day for football.
Especially when we won't have to bite our nails, unlike some other people.
I think we'll do soccer Saturday, will we?
So yeah, bloody things coming out of my ass, Cian. Anyway, on that bombshell, we'll leave it there. Subscribe if you like. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video, and share your comments, lads. Thanks very much, Cian. Brilliant stuff.
Thank you.